This is an art attack. This is an art attack. This is art attack.
Ah, I can't use art attack. Oh, actually, yeah, loads of people have done that. Alright, we'll call it painting with Mark or something. I mean, welcome back. It's episode 5 now. If you are going to paint along with me, just bear with me. This is my first, tutorial, so be gentle. That's a pencil. You will need a pencil. You don't need a Posca paint pen. I've got one, but you don't need one. And you don't need a white gel pen either. You will need some paper. I'm using an artboard because it's quite thick like me. And I mean, I wouldn't use printer paper. That's probably a bit too flimsy. The card is fine. And I've just taped it down with masking tape. Frog tape is probably better. I just don't have any at the moment. And you don't even have to do that either. You don't have to tape it down. And here is my paint set. It's just a cheap travel watercolour set. You can use whatever paints you like. I don't care. I won't judge you. And here is my paintbrush. It's just a synthetic brush from a W.H. Smith art set, or any kind of good shops that do art materials. You can find those. And there's some water. You will need water. Abracadabra, here is my drawing. Now, if you need to pause the video to do a drawing, that's absolutely fine. Or if you just want to watch it and then do one after, that's cool too. So all I've done is a very light outline drawing of trees and a Pokemon. You can draw whatever Pokemon you like, but you just have to draw the outline. Really simple. You don't have to go too detailed or anything like that. Just sort of squint your eyes a bit and imagine the outline and then just draw that. And then the same with trees and branches really. And now what I'm doing is I'm using the 4B pencil, but you can just use your HB pencil, whatever you've got, and then we're just going to fill in the lines. We're only going to fill in the lines that are nearest us, not the background trees. We're going to leave those empty because we're going to paint those later on with a light colour. So we're just doing the foreground, the ones nearest us. So I mean, I don't know the age of the people that are going to be watching this video, so I do apologise if I'm making this too simplistic or if I'm going too fast. Please let me know in the comments. That would be really helpful. And here I'm just doing, now we're doing the lightest colour at the bottom. So I've chosen the yellow colour. I'm using the tissue to dab the brush, and I'm using my bit of paper on the left hand side to test what the colour looks like. That's always very handy to do. So I'm painting around those trees at the bottom because, like I said, we're going to go in with a lighter colour later. So now I'm using a blue colour. You can use whatever blue colour you want. A navy colour is probably best for stars on the sky. And now I'm going in with a purple, because purple and blue are complementary colours. So on the colour wheel, the colours next to each other and opposite go well together. They're in the sky. So that's what we're doing here. This is nothing too complex. You can do whatever shapes or forms or brush marks you want when it comes to the sky here. As Bob Ross says, it's your world. Or galaxy. There's now I'm going in with more blue, and I believe, yeah, there we go. I went in with a bit of grey or black. You can use black. I'm going in with more purple. It's quite good to let the layers dry and then go over them again. But you can just plonk it all on. There's really no right or wrong with this method. Just have fun with it really. If you are using thinner paper, don't go too wet with it. Don't put too much water on it because it's going to start bending and warping, and then you're going to go ah, and nobody wants you to have a meltdown, because painting is supposed to be fun. Here I'm just doing a really dark colour, black or grey, and I'm going around the edges because you want it to be darkest at the top, because that's how it is when you look up at the sky at night. And yeah, so I'm just sort of blending a little bit. But the good thing with watercolours is you can reactivate them. Oh, I'm going in with a bit of green. This is a bit dangerous. Yeah, it's blending alright. Yeah. So yeah, just see, with the watercolours you can add more water and it will just sort of nicely blend together. Oh, I've got a new light. It's like a makeup artist light, but it works quite well for seeing my paintings. Here I'm using, that's a white gouache. You can use white paint, and I'm just mixing it with that light blue colour, which I don't know the name of, because I never know the names of these paints. And we're going to, no, I changed my mind. I'm going to rub out the lines of the trees just so it makes it harder to see them. Because the last thing you want is quite painty, I don't know whether that's a word or not, quite a painty art piece and loads of pencil lines shown. Sometimes that's a choice, but in this case it isn't. So yeah, I'm just going to rub those out a bit, and then I'm going in with my nice gouache and blue colour, and I'm going to try and make that look quite solid. So these trees, they're really just lots of triangles and zigzags. So it's not difficult, but just take your time. There's no rush in doing it. You don't have to paint as fast as I am in this, because sometimes I'm speeding up the tape. So if you're going, he's painting really fast, I'm not. I'm really quite a slow painter, so don't panic. It's all good. Take your time. There's no rush. Also, if it's not going the way you want it to go, or it's not turning out the way it's turning out in my painting, that's okay. Like, there's going to come times, especially if you're learning how to paint, where you're going to do things and you're going to absolutely hate them. I mean, I still do some work, and like a week later or something, I'm like, I can see all the mistakes, and that's fine. That's how we learn. So, you know, sometimes you just got to take it on the chin, or keep working at it and keep trying, because you might have one great piece out of 10, and that's fine, because everyone is like that, and that's how everyone learns. So yeah, I would just say, don't be afraid to fail, because everyone does. Always. And that's just the way it is. But you will get better if you keep at it, you keep drawing. Also, one other tip is that if you are going to be doing a lot of painting, then don't put your drink next to your water receptacle or your water glass, because I've had so many cups of tea where I've ended up with paintbrushes in it. It's just not good. So yeah, make sure there's a bit of space. What am I doing here? Well, I'm adding some of that Payne's grey or black or whatever it is, and see, I've got the brush and I'm drawing. What I'm trying to do is get a thin point on the paintbrush. So I'm gliding it and turning it on the piece of paper on the side, and then I get a nice point. So now we're doing the foreground trees now. So this is where the silhouette part of the painting comes in, and you'll see that I'm literally just blocking out black or dark colour in the foreground in the trees nearest us. So it makes the colours really pop in the background, makes those lighter almost, and it makes our painting and our figure in the foreground that much darker. So it's as if you're looking at sunset and you see the mountains, like you don't really see all the details, all the colours of the mountains, you just see them as almost black. So that's the kind of feel we're going for here. Also, with the nearest, the bottom of the bookmark, I'm doing a little bit lighter. Now you don't have to do that, you can make that completely black if you want. But sometimes I feel like you get a little bit of a sort of 3D effect with you've got a little bit of a pathway leading up to your character. So I did the same with episode 4, if you watched that, thank you. The Witcher painting, I had a little bit of a pathway, and I did the same with that, so that worked quite well. So I thought, I'll do that for my Pokemon painting. Or generic pocket monster that is in no way associated with any really big franchise. Please don't sue me, Japan. Okay, so yeah, now we're doing the silhouette of fricative, and yeah, we want him, it to be as dark as the trees, so it's all on one plane or in the same area. And yeah, I'm just going in very carefully and trying not to colour over the lines. Obviously, that didn't happen. Even now, I'm really not very good at colouring in the lines. So, if you can't do it either, it's fine. Don't worry about it. The good thing with watercolour is you can just touch it with your finger and push it back a little bit, or use a tissue, which I do many, many, many times. Also, while I think of it, now I know this is the second bookmark that I've done so far on this channel, and it's actually the third one that I've posted this month, because I did a xenomorph on my Instagram, Markstroud81 plug. But yeah, it's not a bookmark channel, don't worry. I'm going to be doing other things, but I really don't know what yet. If you've got any suggestions, feel free to put them in the comments. I will read them. All 10 of my subscribers. Good job, guys. Teamwork. Oh, and here I am using the gel pen. If you don't have one, you can just do little dots with your white paint. That's absolutely fine. Or if you've got a Posca paint pen, you can do them with that. So what I am doing is I'm varying the little tiny dots with the gel pen, and I will be going in with bigger dots with the Posca paint pen. It just makes them look well, more diverse, really, because you do get more sparkly stars and less sparkly stars. I don't think that's the technical term, but you know what I mean. I don't go in with too many like big stars, because obviously that will just make it look too out of place. And oh, I am doing quite a few actually. Mark, stop. Okay, he listened. That makes a change. Okay, and now I'm going in with some. If you watched the Witcher painting last month, this was an absolute shambles. Or last episode, not last month. It's not been that long. I'm just spraying on the white paint, which is easy to do. You just put your finger on the end of the paintbrush and you flick it. And make sure you're not going to flick your mum or a grown-up or whoever's around, or make sure you've got some paper down so you don't get it on anything, any prized possessions. But yeah, that works quite well. You can get lots of tiny little stars by doing that. And if you do too many, or you get a big blob of white paint, you can just use tissue and soak up the paint, and that works well, which is what I did there. And here I was just going in with a black pencil and just tidying up the lines, really, sharpening up some of the edges and things like that. But you really don't have to if you've done a decent job on the outlines and stuff, which I didn't really do, but you know, you can always fix it. And I think the bookmark is done, so I'm very careful when I pull off the masking tape, because sometimes you can lift up the paper and rip it, so you don't want to do that. So yeah, just go really careful. And if the paint did bleed underneath like it did on mine, then don't worry, you can always paint over the corner, which is what I did. So you can see in the top left hand corner there's a little bit over the edge. It's always quite satisfying watching the nice crisp lines come out when you pull off the tape. If any of you do follow this video and it is a success or it isn't, like, please let me know. I'd love to see what you've come up with. Or if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. I'd really appreciate it. And if you have subscribed, then, you know, awesome, thank you so much. And here is the final piece. I also put it up on my Instagram, or I will put it up on my Instagram, if you would like to see it a bit in closer detail. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. Cheers.